to This Week in Sim Racing, August 26th edition. I'm Jessica Lopez.
And I'm Sean Cole.
And this show is sponsored by iRacing.com.
You can get 3 months for the price of 1 by clicking on any of the banners at our website, and you can take advantage of that great offer and try out iRacing 2.0. It's practically a new sim now, so check it out.
Yes, you can. Okay, well, everyone's asking about it. It's all over the web. You see it sitting here. Fanatec is doing what no other company has done by offering a separate wheelbase and rim.
You know, obviously we've been kind of teasing this on the show for a while. It's been seen in the background and quite a few different teases. So it's finally here in our studio. We're playing with it, and like you said, it's being seen all over the world, but we're now hammering on it and getting ready to put it through its paces here on the show.
The wheel will be released by November or December with the option of 2 different rims, the Formula One that you see here and a GT racing style rim.
Which, there was a while ago, we did a video, had me doing some driving with what looked like a wider wheel. I'm not saying it's the GT wheel or not, some people speculate it was, but this is the Formula style one.
Both the Club Sport wheelbase and the Formula rim are very adjustable. The shifter paddle distance can be adjusted, which is great depending on your finger length.
Yeah, I mean, some people actually like to hold on the shifters a little bit, so you can put a lot of extra length, or if you want them to click right away, you can tailor it to your needs.
The belt tension can also be adjusted without having to open the base, which is pretty cool. And NASCAR, rally, and drifting style rims are already in development. By selling the rims separately from the wheelbase, Fanatec is giving drivers so much flexibility that has not been offered in the past. Players can change the rim during in-game with a quick release mechanism on the base, and in addition to all that, the base is already equipped for other expansion items such as static paddle shifters and phone holders for drivers to read telemetry data straight from their smartphones.
So you gotta love that. I mean, obviously this Formula style wheel is super cool, but like, if I was gonna do some oval racing, this is not the perfect wheel.
Right.
And it sounds like he's gonna be making a wheel for just about any discipline. So if you're like me and you try a different sim every day, you might have a stack of 3-4 different wheels just to suit your needs. I love it.
Once again, the Club Sport wheelbase, Formula, and GT rims will be available towards the end of the year. More details regarding the GT rim will be available in September. The price for the base is 450 euros or $450, which is kind of makes it a little less expensive if you purchase it in US, right?
Yeah, I still don't understand how Thomas gets away with that pricing. I've always heard conversion rate, but no conversion here. Wherever you are, it's that pricing.
The Formula One rim will be sold for 150 euro/dollars, and other rims will go for 150 to 300 euro/dollars.
Very cool. You know what makes me happy?
What?
We've been holding this under secrecy for so long, and now Thomas, with that video, he finally displayed the wheel properly, and now we don't have to do it under secrecy anymore. So, and that's a great video. You want to check it out, go over to Thomas's blog, Fanatec blog, and check that video out. And we have a lot more on that coming in the near future.
Yep.
And in addition, as we've mentioned, we have Andreas Nee at Gamescom getting us footage, so we're going to have a lot of footage of the wheel from there as well.
Coming up very soon. All right, next up, Codemasters has announced an online version of Formula One called F1 Online. The game will give players a chance to be a driver and a team boss during a game that combines top-down racing, which is like looking down at a map.
Yeah, sort of like Google Map, or maybe like Pac-Man looking down on the action or the racetrack surface.
Pretty interesting. It will be available or launched in early 2012, and players will be able to create and manage their own teams. There will be multiplayer and different events to compete in. Players will be able to create and manage their own teams. There will be multiplayer and different events to compete in.
Very cool. Totally different type of game from Codemasters. I mean, this is nothing like F1 2011. So anyway, I want to take a look at the modding community. We have a few new mods coming out. The first one's for GTR2, and that's the Power and Glory 3, and this is actually a preview of it by GT Legends Workshop. It is currently underway, and they've released some preview shots. This time, you're not going to need the GTL disc in order to use this mod, so it'll be open to anyone with GTR2 once it's released. You can head over to virtualr.net and check out more of those screenshots and video if you want to check it out for yourself.
A new drift mod has been released for R-Factor, and it's the Toyota Supra MK4 with the 550 horsepower engine. The car had to be heavily modified in order to be able to drift. This includes stiffening of the suspension and short gear ratios.
The mod was made by a group of well-known modders, including some big hitters from Riza Studios. This includes Frederick Aisbo, Sim Anuk, Mianiac, A-Dubs, Racing Line Development, and Niles Husingveld, who stars in this video that was released, and he is also the one who suggests that you read the README file before trying the mod so that you can get the required settings before enjoying some drifting and R Factor.
And speaking of Riza Studios, their recent release GameStop car, which we are reviewing here in the studio. Last week we mentioned that they have a new track, Vanport, and now they've added another track to the title, Putnam Park. The road course is 1.78 miles and has 10 turns and is located near Indianapolis, Indiana, and this makes the second non-Brazilian track to GameStop car.
And you know, we're going to do the review on GameStop car coming up, but I can tell you already, it's such a phenomenal sim, and just getting more tracks into that sim is a great thing.
All right, well, a little bit more about the track. It has 4 different layouts, and it was first introduced to R Factor in 2007. Its inclusion to GameStop car has upgraded this track since then. New features include road and glass shaders, updated tire wall, fence and Armaco shaders, and an extra event with ads around the circuit and even a helicopter. So another great track added to the sim by Alex Sazuk, and I guess we'll have to wait to see what he brings us next.
You know, they keep bringing tracks, but I want to see Riza Studios. How about that Formula Armoroli McLaren? Maybe get that in there so we can drive that on some of these tracks too. That'd be very cool. And it's your work, so it wouldn't be that hard to bring in.
On a different note, it's time for the Rig of the Week, and this one came straight from our forums by Daniel Carlson from Sweden. He built this rig with his wife in mind, based on their living room size being kind of small. The wife didn't want a big rig in the middle of the living room, so he built this. Looks like a bench to me.
So it's to hide it from the wife, not so the wife could drive the rig.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, he drew the design in Google SketchUp and took it from there. It's made of wood and everything is adjustable and detachable with wing nuts for easy use. He even thought about the probability of replacing the seat in the future and built the rig with that in mind. He started out with the Microsoft wheel and pedals, and then he upgraded to the Fanatic GT2 and Club Sport pedals, and he has a homemade paddle shifters with 16 layers of carbon fiber.
That he built up himself, customized?
Built himself.
I love it.
He plays the 360, mostly Forza, and for the PC he likes Simbin and Live for Speed. And he plans to put a real racing seat in that rig very soon, and it only takes him 3 minutes to go from bench to rig. How cool is that?
That's very cool, and again, being able to hide it. The other thing I noticed in that is he used Google Sketch, and I think a lot of people visualizing their project is a big part of it, and that's a great idea, using Google Sketch. And last thing I'll say is measure twice, cut once.
On that note, it's time for a commercial break. When we return, we have some more sim racing news and some leaks to shout out to.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
Tamiya's extensive lineup of radio-controlled vehicles provides hobbyists with the joy of running exact replicas of their favorite car, tank, or off-road vehicle. Another attraction of these vehicles is their use of high-grade materials, such as nylon resin, carbon fiber, and polycarbonate. With precise mechanical systems, the maintenance and adjustment of the various components, as well as performance upgrading with optional parts, allows for truly competitive racing. For more information about Tamiya, visit us at www.tamiyausa.com.
Welcome back. Seems like every week iRacers are developing new tools to even further better the sim. I mean, we have great wheels, pedals, the ability to mod those items and make them even better, force feedback, and now wind?
Wind.
Yeah. Well, this company by the name of Fergotech, I'm not sure if it's a company or just a one-man crew, but Fergotech is making this speed-sensitive fan along with Arduino board.
Yeah, the Arduino board, it's an open source board. The board uses hardware and software to receive input from sensors such as lights and motors to sense the environment, and then communicates with the software running on your computer.
This speed-sensitive fan by Fergotech will speed up or slow down with the car, and obviously is more realistic in open-top cars.
Absolutely, so you can feel the wind in your hair.
If you have hair.
Yeah, the big F. On another note, this is looking at force feedback, but another thing that's made for the game to make things better. And sometimes you got to wonder if your force feedback is working at its full potential. So there was an article in iRacing about clipping by Fernando Burke, who has coded some software that grabs the telemetry data while you're racing. And it shows you if the force feedback in your wheel is clipping or not.
Now, what's clipping?
I didn't know what clipping was, to be perfectly honest with you. So I asked a few people, a little more knowledgeable than myself, about clipping. And the best answer I got was it's similar to audio distortion. So you could have your sound and it sounds great. You turn it up too loud and it starts kind of blowing out the speakers. Well, apparently force feedback can send signals that would be very clear, but when they get peaked out, like turning up your volume too much, it's going to get a little bit distorted in what you're feeling.
Now, the software has not been fully tested and we have yet to try it. However, its purpose is to help you tune your settings correctly so that you get the correct force feedback for the ultimate driving experience.
Absolutely. The other thing I like about this is we're always talking about different R-Factor mods, tracks, and whatnot, and it's great to see that people are making cool little things like this for iRacing as well.
Yeah, it's like as often as someone mods a car or a track for R-Factor is almost as often as someone is making a new tool for iRacing.
Absolutely.
Speaking of iRacing, we have the Nvidia Cup Series winners, and there was 3 winners for Season 1 and the same for Season 2. In addition, there were 2 logo contest winners, 1 for each season.
Absolutely, and they were giving away some cool prizes. I mean, you're talking 3D glasses, video cards, 3D monitors, all sorts of cool Nvidia gear. So.
And speaking of seasons, the iRacing Thrustmaster Mustang Challenge has ended, crowning David Galate from the Netherlands as champ. He took home the prize of a Thrustmaster T500 RS wheel and pedal set. Pretty cool prize.
Very cool.
Now all iRacers will have the chance to win that if they run the Thrustmaster logo as their primary sponsor in at least 10 complete official races in any series, and they will be automatically entered to win that very same prize.
So no more winner take all. Now
Right.
It's sort of a random drawing. Get your logo on your car, you're eligible, and you can win a T500. Very cool stuff.
All right, next up we're going to mention a league, and it's the WS Motorsports, which stands for We Stand United, and it's a newer league we'd like to give mention to. I went to their website, and their website is very well organized and very put together for being such a newer league.
Absolutely. This is one of those leagues that I love so much because they have so much going on. It's not just one racing series, bunch of different types of cars, bunch of different types of racing, and they're pretty new, which means it's easy to get involved as well.
Head on over to wsumotorsports.net to check them out. That's going to wrap up This Week in Sim Racing, August 26th edition. Make sure you comment on this show on YouTube, and also head on over to our website, InsideSimRacing.tv.
And you can check out our forums there where we're going to have cool things like Sim Rig of the Week, so you can see all the rigs we've featured, maybe put in pictures of yours, see if we feature it on the show.
Hopefully this Rig of the Week has inspired everyone to get their rigs all nice and complete and tidied up.
What I love is everybody has a different approach about a sim rig, so there's so many cool ideas out there. It's a lot of fun just checking out that thread.
Speaking of checking out, we're going to be at the Tamiya Nationals in Aliso Viejo this weekend, Southern California, Orange County. So if you're local, come check us out.
Yeah, we are probably there right now if you're watching the show this weekend.
Yep, August 27th and 28th. Hope to see you there. That's going to wrap things up for Sean Cole and myself. Checker Flag is out, and so are we.